Hey guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another speed build, and I hope you guys are cozy and ready for a longer video, because today I've got a big one for you. This is a really big house, especially for me. I usually build like small family homes, apartments, tiny houses, but for whatever reason, I was in the mood to build a large house in Brindleton Bay, and this is a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house that also has a garage, an office, a yard, a playroom. It's just, it's pretty big. So this is a long video. The voiceover portion, not including screenshots, is already longer than most of my videos, like twice as long as most of my videos are, including screenshots. So I'm a little nervous about trying to figure out what to talk about for this whole period of time. But hopefully you guys enjoy this. I really hope you like this build because it took me absolutely ages to do. I actually built this over on Twitch first over the course of, I think, 3 different streams. So it was like 6 or 7 hours of footage to get down into this video. But it is very barn-shaped, Cape Cod style. I was trying to match the style of Brindleton Bay, and I'm building on the Tails End lot, which is a pretty big one that I haven't built on in a really long time. I think the last time I built on this lot was shortly after Cats and Dogs came out, potentially, but it's nice to revisit some of the lots you don't use too often. So that is what we are doing here today. And you can see I started building the left side of the house, and then I was like, I don't like it. And I deleted it because I'm very indecisive and I do that a lot. But I felt like I kind of needed to keep that in there to show how we got to that point. So we are getting to the final-ish shape for the left side of the house now, though. I do have this covered breezeway that connects the main house to a garage, which is like somewhat separated. But I like that it's still connected, and I really liked this covered area with like the open archways. You can view out into the world over the water, and I just thought it was really pretty. And this house is going to get a lot bigger. We're going to be popping over to the right side here in a minute to expand the house to make it so much bigger than it is now. But first, I'm playing around with a little porch over here, which a little bit later I will actually be expanding to fill up that entire space between the main house and the garage. And it ends up being like a covered space for your Sims to go and cook some stuff on the barbecue, hang out outside. It ends up just being really cute. I was really happy with it. But this is over on the other side. Like I had mentioned, we are going to be expanding this to make it a lot bigger. So I could fit a lot more bedrooms into this house for the larger family that I was imagining. So we're just experimenting with how I want to do that, playing around with the roofs, because this sort of roofing does take quite a few pieces. I think it's really fun to do this. I love roofing in general. So I had fun with this, but it did take a little while. As you can see, there's a lot of tiny pieces to put together to make that sort of roof make sense. And then I wanted to have dormers so that there was more windows in those rooms, and it also gave some more shape to the exterior. I'm also adding a bump out on the bottom level here, which when I add windows, it ends up kind of looking like a mouth. And then upstairs, the dormers look like the eyes. And I didn't mean for that to happen, but it sort of happened. And I think it still bothers me, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm starting to work on the landscaping here, trying to figure out what I want that to be. And here we are expanding that deck I had mentioned and using a half wall as a decorative covering over here, which I thought looked pretty cute in the end. I was pretty happy with that. And then I also raised up the terrain by the garage space so I could actually make it look like you could drive up there and park a car there, even though we still don't have cars in The Sims 4. I really want cars in The Sims 4. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. We talk about this too often. I bring it up a lot. A lot of other Simmers talk about it all the time. But I'm still sad that we don't have them yet. But we're getting bunnies and cows and llamas and chickens, so I'm pretty excited about that. And speaking of which, this was a lot of fun. This house in particular, it was a really big house to tackle, but I had a lot of fun with it, and it's been a while since I had built anything this big or just on the larger scale in general. And with Cottage living right around the corner, do you guys have anything in particular you would like to see with that pack? What you'd like to see me build? I think I'm looking for like bigger build ideas in general, but I'm totally open to all of the other ideas you have, like tiny houses. I guess when it comes out, I could probably do some apartments too. That would be fun. But let me know what you would like to see because I am so excited. And I want to build more. And since this was so fun, I feel like maybe doing something on the bigger side once I get my hands on that pack, that could be fun. Anyway, I'm working on the landscaping now. You can see there's lots of terrain paint that's down, and I just tucked over it because I was like, oh my gosh, cows and chickens. But I really like how the terrain paint came out, and I'm enjoying a lot of the flowers I put here. They're a mixture of the regular plants and the ones from Show Live Edit Objects, but I did use quite a bit from the Show Live Edit Objects catalog because they're just so good. And the swatches, oh my goodness, not all of the plants have swatches in that catalog, but the ones that do, they're just so nice. It's like, we have this plant regularly. Why doesn't this swatch exist on it? It bothers me, but since I'm always landscaping out of that catalog anyway, it's fine. But I'm adding some ivy up the side of this build. You'll also probably notice that the colors of the house, the roof colors, the siding colors, the roof trim, all of that changes so many times because it was very indecisive. And I actually go back at the end of the build and change it again. And I'm still not sure if I'm happy with that because looking back at what I have it at now, I was like, oh, that looks cute. Why didn't you like that? But that's just kind of the part of building in the game and being indecisive. I'm sure that's pretty relatable. You're like, oh, why didn't I do this? This looked cute. But anyway, we are working on the floor plan now. As you can see, I did struggle with it a bit, but it does come out pretty cute in the end, I think. It's just, sometimes floor plans are really hard to do, especially when I'm used to building on a smaller scale. I was trying to figure out how to make these rooms not too big because to me they felt enormous. But they actually worked out pretty nicely in the end. I didn't feel like they were actually too big. It's just at first it was like, oh my goodness, I'm not used to this. But we're just messing around with some of the rooms down here. I was thinking that was going to be some bathrooms and that room that we just pulled together, a bunch of little rooms downstairs. But that ends up being a playroom, and I did think about it being another bedroom at one point. And then this is the part upstairs that I actually struggled with for a long time. And I can't remember if I cut out a ton of this. Oh, I definitely did. But I couldn't figure out how to have 2 bedrooms over here without having to walk through one of them to get to the other. We end up having kind of a weird hallway and then a little bathroom at the end of the hall. I think it worked out nicely, but the 4 bedrooms are all upstairs. And then we are moving on into the kitchen. And I go through so many colors and so many counters. We start with Parenthood, and then we move on over to the vampire counters, and then we switch the swatches of the vampire counters, and then we end up using base game ones in the end. But this is the layout I end up going with, so you can at least see the thought process with the layouts. I think it worked out nicely having the counter like curve around so you could have some stools there, and then I have a little breakfast nook over in the corner, and there's an island in here as well for additional like prep work for whatever foods you are making. And I just think it looks really nice. I like the layout of this kitchen. I was pretty happy with it. It's definitely different. Anytime I can do a kitchen that's slightly different than things I've done in the past or just not as common as some of the ones I do, I'm excited about it because I often do tiny houses and just like have a 4-tile kitchen and that's it. And so any experimentation in kitchens makes me happy. And this isn't a galley kitchen, but that is something that I've been super into lately. I feel like every build I do, that's the style of kitchen I want to do. So just talking about it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go build a kitchen. Let me start up in an apartment so I can jump right on in. I don't know what it is. It's just been so much fun building those lately. And kitchens are my favorite room of every build to decorate. So anyway, look, we have base game counters now. It took us a while to get to this, but I am keeping the same layout. I'm using the stove and oven, the separate pieces that came with Dream Home Decorator, and then I'm changing all of the flooring in the house to be this like deep wood that I think is really, really pretty and a little bit worn. It's from the Spooky Day stuff pack. Is it Spooky Day or Spooky Stuff? Oh my goodness, why does that pack always trip me up? I can never remember the exact name of it, but it's from the Spooky pack, and it's some of the swatches look really gross. They're supposed to look like creepy, but I think a couple of the swatches look really nice and give you like a different look. Like this looks just like an older wood floor, but it's still in pretty good shape. The lighter wood ones I think are perfect for beach houses. I've definitely used them that way before. But I really liked this one in this house, and that's pretty much the kitchen has come together there. I did add a birdhouse on the counter. That's a very important addition. And then this is going to be that little breakfast nook that I had mentioned. We're just using a base game table and some of these beautiful chairs that came with Dream Home Decorator. Still so into that pack. I don't know if I'm ever going to get over it. It's it's so good. And right when they announced it, I think some people that were working on the pack, some of the gurus said something about, or maybe it was the person that made the trailer. Anyway, somebody had tweeted out saying that they think that this new pack, before they even like said what it was going to be a staple for a lot of people. And I feel like this has become a staple for me as a builder. I'm just going to never stop using Dream Home Decorator. It's not even the primary pack I'm using in this build. But it's so good, like how can you not use it in almost every build? At least some part of it. Like those chairs worked really nicely. A lot of it is very versatile. I know a lot of it's also very modern. And that doesn't fit with every build, but I thought a couple of the items worked nicely in this one. Anyway, this is the dining room. It's fairly simple. It's very orange. There wasn't much to say about it, but it's done. And then this is the downstairs bathroom. We just have a shub, a couple of sinks, a toilet, you know, all the basics you would imagine in the bathroom. And the tile I'm using here is from Parenthood. Did I use that same tile in the kitchen? I feel like I did. I really like matching the tile from kitchens to bathrooms. I don't know how realistic that is in real life. I don't think I've actually ever seen that done. But for some reason in Sims builds, I'm always like, I use this tile in the kitchen and therefore it's going to be the same tile in the bathrooms. Maybe some of the floor tiling, but I feel like I never see the same wall tiling. Maybe that's gross. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know. Anyway, this is the living room. I'm using the Cats and Dogs fireplace, a couple of bookshelves on either side that kind of clip into it, but I think it looks okay and sort of like they're built in. And then I raised up a TV to be on the mantle. That way we could fit in a TV pretty nicely here. And then I'm cluttering up the top of the bookcases with more books and plates and just all sorts of like family decor and clutter. I like to make places look lived in. Hopefully I achieved that. I was imagining there was a pet in this house. I can't remember if I wanted a cat or a dog. I guess we'll find out based on if there's a litter box or not. I think I was thinking there was a dog though. So I'm pretty sure there's no litter box in this house, but I could be wrong. I've been building so much lately, so I could have gotten this messed up. And if you're watching this and you watch this on stream first, you're going to be like, oh, it was a dog or oh, it was a cat. And I'm like, I don't remember. But yeah, like this was a really fun one to do on stream. If you watch the streams, do you prefer these larger builds or like the one-off streams where we're building like an apartment for one day? Although lately I've been very bad about that and I get so distracted because the coolest thing about streaming on Twitch and building with you guys is we're chit-chatting the entire time. Sometimes it's about the build and being like, ooh, this could work together. Sometimes it's about random stuff and we get very distracted. And suddenly a tiny one-bedroom apartment takes us more than one stream to complete because we spent so long talking about, like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of some of the things we've talked about before that we got so hung up on. But, like, we could be talking about donuts or something and then not get anything done. Oh, I feel like we often talk about pets. Just talking about how cute our cats are. Yeah. Things like that. I also have a pet channel, like a cute animals channel over in my Discord server. I always have my Discord server linked in the description if you guys are curious or interested in joining. It's a fun place to talk about all things Sims with fellow Simmers. I really enjoy chatting with everyone. But anyway, we're in the main entryway now, and this is just a like cubby system I made with the modular furniture that I put under the steps. I thought it would be a good use of space and add some more like family clutter. So I have like some shoes and boxes. I end up having some kids' toys, more baskets, some stuff like automatically slots into that area, and other things I had to manually rise up with the 9 and 0 keys. But getting some books, I'm pretty sure I add a backpack as well somewhere in here. The little lighthouse figurine light thing that we got from Cats and Dogs, I wanted to add that in here because Brindleton Bay, I thought that that was pretty cute. We have some vases, there's one of the toys, and I just really like how this looks. You could probably combine a bunch of different items from the modular set to fit under the steps, but I just used these singular like boxy tiles. I thought that those looked nice, and it allowed me to add so much clutter, which I love. But this is going to be the downstairs playroom. It's coming together real quick. It's fairly simple. We have the play tent and like some large stuffed animals, a toy box, a couple of art tables, And I think that's all that's going to be in here. I'm looking for the art tables right now. And I just think it's a cute way to have all of these fun kid activities for your Sims to play with, but not have them out spilling into the living space. And I know that's not something a lot of people have the luxury of having. I never had a playroom growing up, but this was a really big house, and it was either, okay, we have another bedroom, or I made it into a playroom, and I hadn't done that in a really long time, so I thought that that was a cool use of space. But we're moving now into the garage. I really like adding counters and sinks into garages. I also added a bar in here. There also ends up being a bubble blower and a like busking station to like play music, and there's a lot in this garage. You will see. I think we also have a ping pong table. Oh, and laundry. There's laundry in this house. I feel like I just added so much into this house. It's probably using every pack in the game at this point. I often just kind of go wild with packs and don't limit, but I try to do at least a few base game houses, like at least 1 or 2 every month, and I will occasionally do limited pack builds as well. But for the most part, I just like to have fun and use everything at my disposal and see what I can come up with, because The Sims is such a fun creative outlet. I'm having so much fun making these builds, sharing them with you guys, chit-chatting, all of that. But yeah, there's also a stereo in here, some posters. There's the bubble blower, getting some ottomans on either side of that and trying to figure out the best layout in there. But this is that breezeway I had mentioned that you can walk through. There ends up being a bench in there, which we're going to switch in a minute to a different one. And then on this patio space, we do have a table and a barbecue. And that's pretty much it for that area. It's fairly simple, but I liked how it came out. And then this is the room directly off of the living space, and it's where the door is to exit to the side yard. And this is an office, and it has a lot of stuff in it, to be honest. So we have a desk. We have a couple of different seating spaces. I'm trying to think. Oh, we have a fish tank in here. That's an item I forget exists all the time. And I know it comes in a few different packs. We have the one I used in here, which is from Cats and Dogs. And then I think there's a couple from Dine Out as well. But I never use those because they don't feel realistic. Whereas this one, well, I mean, they're realistic. They don't feel realistic to me to be in like homes. And I don't build that many community lots because I don't find them as fun to build. But the one I placed in here from Cats and Dogs looks very much like the fish tanks that I had growing up. We had so many fish. We had so many pets. So I do like to add that in family homes from time to time. I think it's quite cool. But as you can see, I'm trying to figure out the end of the hallway here because it was sort of awkward how to get in. And it ends up being a very strange shaped hallway. But I'm playing around now trying to figure out the beds for all the different rooms before we fully start on the primary bedroom here. And it's very blue. And I was, for some reason, so excited about putting the bed in front of the window with the curtains draping around it. It just looks so pretty. And I was very, very audibly excited about placing it there. I really like how this room came out. It's incredibly blue and brown, but it just looks so cozy for some reason. And I liked how the bed frame and the dresser blend into the color of the walls. There's even a fireplace in the bedroom. I don't do that very often because I don't build houses big enough that would have a fireplace in the bedroom. So that was an exciting addition in here for sure. We even have a chair in the corner. Honestly, Cats and Dogs is such a good pack. And it has the same kind of vibe of like older furniture, which I feel like from like the trailers and pictures we've seen, or the trailer and the pictures that we've seen of cottage living, we're going to be getting more of that style, it looks like. So I'm excited to have more like older Sim style chairs, more like traditional furniture, cozy stuff. It's going to be so fun. But yeah, this is one of the teenager rooms. I was thinking there was 2 teenagers in this house and 1 kid at this time. So this one is like much more like athletic and into music, and the other sim I imagined was into music too, but a different type of music and not as athletic. So we have a vanity and stuff in here. And then in this room we have some posters. It's a lot darker. It's like a red and black color scheme. And I also end up having a guitar in here. And I really like how this room came out. I feel like this one's very teenage Tanya. I would have enjoyed a very dark room, like red and black. Love that. So I was happy with how that room came out. I was thinking maybe they were one of the Sims that was practicing playing instruments and like busking in the garage. So I wanted to make sure that was represented in one of the bedrooms. And then we're moving on to the kids' room. This one is like really cutesy and purple and pink, and I like it. And by pink, there's some pink stickers on the mirror. I don't think there's a lot other pink items in here. Well, I mean, we have the pink curtains. Also, did I put something in that corner? I feel like I put a dollhouse there. When I was taking screenshots, the dollhouse mysteriously disappeared. I don't know what happened. It was kind of odd. But I did stack this side table with a poof under it, and then I'm filling up the side table with all kinds of clutter, like a unicorn bank. I want to call it a piggy bank because that's what it is, but it's not a piggy, it's a unicorn, so it's a unicorn bank. And just some clutter and a cute dresser and mirror and stuff from Parenthood. And then we're going outside and changing all the colors again because can't make up my mind. I kind of think it looks better before, but that's just how it goes when you watch back footage of you building something. I always end up being like, why did I do that? Why would I do that? I should have left it. But then I added a like outdoor space here. We have a flower arranging table, like a bird feeder, a place for the Sims to go ahead and swing on a swing set. I think I added a couple of planters as well. And then I thought about adding another table, but I'm pretty sure I deleted that in the end. But I ended up adding a fire pit and a couple of like couches around it, outdoor seating. And that's pretty much it for this build. This has been a long one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really, really helps me out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Just finalizing the last little bits here, and then we're heading on into screenshots. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.